Hello everyone and welcome back to VolTalk. I'm your host Macee Tinker with our awesome musical guest today, Mathien.
Hey!
How are you today, Mathien?
Really, really good.
We're
nice
so
to meet you.
excited to have you. He's going to perform later for us, don't worry. So you're originally from Chicago, but you've made your way to Knoxville and we're so glad you have. And so just tell us how your genre of music has changed over time from the beginning to now.
I really try not to think in terms of genre because I like to, I get bored really easily. So I like to, when I'm creating, I like to kind of surprise myself. But there was a time when I was in Chicago, actually, I was signed to a record label and everything I did was co-produced with somebody, and that always had kind of more of a rock sound. And then when that deal was over with, I moved to Knoxville and I set up a recording studio down here that I work out of in my house. And my music has kind of become a little more in the soul realm, if you will. But even so, I still try to just experiment as much as possible and keep things interesting.
I love it. I'm enjoying your newest music that
Thank
you
you.
put out. So tell me about your musical process and how you're releasing albums now.
I'm essentially releasing albums as soon as I'm done with a certain amount of tracks. So I'm recording constantly, and for instance, I'll set deadlines for myself. Like, for instance, 4/20, I'm putting out an album called Whoa, and what I'm doing is I'm constantly recording. So then by 4/19, I'll just stay up really late and mix and master everything and figure out what the album's going to be, figure out the track listing and everything like that. But until then, I'm just kind of recording like a madman.
So tell me about your most recent album, the title of it. Explain that.
Well, since I've moved down here to Tennessee, I've learned certain vocabulary words that I really appreciate, and one of them is do what now?
Do what now?
Yeah, when you say something to somebody and they don't hear you, they say do what now? Which
Like a
really,
command.
I really love. It's a lot of syllables actually.
Right.
Just to say, you could just say huh.
I love
They'll
it.
do the same thing, but down here people say do what now?
I love it. I appreciate that.
Me
Personally.
too. I love it.
Being from Knoxville area, I appreciate
most people
it.
out here, they don't even think about it because I've explained this to a lot of people,
Right.
and they're like, I guess we do say do what now.
They like realize
Yeah.
it. And what about your album Calm?
Calm was just, that album was very kind of special because it really just had everything that I feel represents me. It was a very good, like, definitive album for me, so I named it Calm because my initials are Christopher Andrew Lawrence Mathien.
So if somebody wants to find you as a new fan and find something that really represents you, go to your album Calm.
Calm, yeah. It opens up with the song Say, which is the song I play people when they find out I'm a musician, because that happens a lot. I live a very pedestrian life, so people are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a musician. And they're like, play me something, and I'll play. And take out my phone, play the song for them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, I already asked you about your album. So if you could, you picked that song to represent you. Say, what is one of your other favorite songs? Like, what are you going to perform for us today? I'm
going to do a song called Mr. Storybook Man.
That's awesome.
And it's really about. I was in a relationship with somebody, and they were kind of making me feel uneasy because they were trying to have me assume this, like, I guess, boyfriendy role, and this, like, I felt like I was a man in a book. I saw a movie one time, and the guy said, I'm not a man in a book. And I kind of felt like that. I felt like this person was trying to turn me into a character or their version of who they thought I was, and wasn't letting me breathe, wasn't letting me be who I actually am and appreciating me for that. So I wrote Mr. Storybook Man. It's kind of like a smart alecky song.
Yeah. So what are some of your influences? Who specifically in the musical world has influenced you?
I got my first album when I was 5. It was Michael Jackson, Dangerous. So I went from Dangerous, from Michael Jackson to Green Day to George Clinton, and then from George Clinton and, like, you know, all the funk music from the 70s. Naturally, all of the rap artists from the 90s sampled all of that stuff, and then I became in tune with that through rap, which I'm also really influenced by rap music and hip hop.
Cool. So where do you find most of your inspiration, and how do you channel it into songwriting?
Things happening to me. I try to write no matter what, but it's a lot easier to write when maybe something has upset me or something's made me really happy. Right. Either end of the spectrum, you can write really great music. When you're in the middle, you can just kind of admire the world for what it is.
Yeah.
And write something maybe that's more narrative.
Right. So how much time do you spend writing, producing, recording, compared to your downtime that you take off from it?
I do a lot of both.
Yeah.
I do, but I work on music like it's a job, so it's over 40 hours a week easily.
Right. So where can people find you on social media?
Mathien, Mathien. That's on Twitter @Mathien. I have a Facebook that I don't check, so yeah.
So maybe don't go find you there.
Maybe not there. And then on
it.
on Instagram, I'm actually Chris Mathien, because the domain wasn't available for Mathien Instagram. Although it was offered to me, I declined because I felt bad. I felt guilty. I didn't want to take away that guy's followers.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Because they're watching him.
Yeah.
But maybe you're more important. Maybe you should have taken it.
I don't know. He's doing like a lot of. I looked him up. He's doing a lot of crazy like tech stuff in France.
Well, it's
he's like
nice
really
that he
into
offered
computers
it to
and
you.
stuff. So I'm like, oh, he's got his life. I got mine.
He's got his life. You've got
Yeah.
yours. You started your own. It's fine. So look him up there. Find you on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify is
look 'em
really the best place to go because it's all of my records are on there.
Right.
So yeah, Spotify's great.
And what song are you gonna play for us?
Mr. Storybook Man.
Awesome. And we love it. And we just heard the story behind Mr. Storybook Man.
Oh,
So-
behind the music.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we're here for. So thank you all for watching VolTalk today. Stay tuned to watch Mathien perform Mr. Storybook Man.
Booyah.
And we'll see you next time. We are excited to have him on VolTalk today. Here's Mathien performing Mr. Storybook Man.
I've been learning a lot about what it's gonna take to be your Mr. Storybook Man. And I've been learning too much about her, and I'm learning so much, I'm not sure if I'm just lonely again. Ooh, between you and me, it's such a big old world, and there's a whole lot to see before we say goodbye. Still wanna say hello before we close the door halfway instead of slamming it behind you, 'cause I know where to find you. Call me unkind. When I've been breaking up with strangers, I've been staring at the sun. I feel all my life's been flashed before my eyes before it's begun. And while I got it so much stronger, there's still sorrow deep inside. I'm still mixing beer and wine without a fear in mind, without a fear in mind, without a fear in. I let the devil provoke me if the water of hope can soak me in the bath of the terms that I can come to. Because the deeper I go, I feel the people I know are just as vulnerable as me. But they don't wanna be, no, they don't wanna be. Don't let the sun rise on the sunshine of your heart's desire. Don't let the wind blow you into a place that you do not need to be. You'll be waking up with strangers. I've been staring at the sun. I've been staring at the sun. I feel all my life's been flashed before my eyes, before it's gone. And while I gotten so much stronger, there's still sorrow deep inside. But I'm still mixing beer and wine without a fear in mind, without a fear in mind, without a fear in mind. Be a storybook man. Be a storybook man. Yeah. I'd be a storybook man. Thanks. I like to play.